Just mute yourself from the queue. So let me add a second attendance. I just say the second attendance for the second class. Just make sure that you mark the attendance your LMS portal. ठीक है, सेकंड अटेंडेंस हमने अब सेव किया है, तो आप सभी लोग एलएमएस पोर्टल में आप अटेंडेंस मार्क कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट. Yeah, so after Windows 2.0, okay, Windows 2.0 are basically designed for the Intel 8086 or 808 microprocessor with some limited memory. Then after just shortly after that, so they are designed Windows 386. Now Windows 386 are basically designed for the microprocessor Intel 386. Okay, these windows are specifically designed for this. Again, one more point you have to remember: whatever software is updated, okay, whatever the windows is updated, along with that, the hardware features will also update. अगर आप लोग देखोगे कभी कभी जैसे अगर नए हार्डवेयर फीचर्स में हम लोग अगर आज के डेट में विंडोज 7 या विंडोज एक्सपी इंस्टॉल करेंगे, राइट, अगर अभी विंडोज आजकल जो हार्डवेयर फीचर आ रहे हैं लाइक 7th generation with Intel i7 or 10th generation with i7 with 1 TB and that memory of 1 GB SSD like that. If you want to install Windows 7 or Windows XP or Windows 95, now that will be not supported there. Similarly, अगर पहले कंप्यूटर जो आते थे हम लोग के इंटेल सपोज कोर 12 कोर या कोर i3 हो गया, ठीक है, अगर उस पर हम लोग विंडोज 10 या विंडोज 13 को इंस्टॉल करेंगे, नाउ अगेन दैट विल बी नॉट सपोर्ट. तो व्हाट इज द रीजन, क्या है उसका, अलॉन्ग जैसे जैसे आपका विंडोज का वर्जन्स अपडेट होते रहते हैं, ओके, जैसे आपका विंडोज का अपडेट होंगे उस तरह से आपका हार्डवेयर का भी वर्जन अपडेट होंगे. तो कंपैटिबिलिटी, दैट शुड बी अ कंपैटिबिलिटी बिटवीन योर विंडोज एंड योर हार्डवेयर. अगर कंपैटिबिलिटी नहीं होगा then it will create a problem. It will not function actually. It will not function properly. So that is the reason Windows 386 specifically designed for the uh, Intel 386 processor window, which is providing the multitask. क्या क्या benefit हुआ? It is providing the multitask. It is providing the multitask for many DOS program directly access hardware. The multitasking environment is provided by the Windows 386 processor or Windows 386 features. Now we can use multitasking there. Fine. Now let us move further. Now Windows 3.1, which is last, as we have seen earlier, the first slide. So we have started with this one. Listen no. अगर हम लोग earlier slide में देखेंगे, हम लोग ने start किया था Windows 3.0 से start किया था. ठीक है. Now this is a significant window. Now why this is very, because this is the first window which is used for the commercial purpose. Okay, commercial purpose और स्टैंड अलोन पर्पस के लिए फर्स्ट टाइम जब आपका विंडोज को लॉन्च किया गया वो था आपका विंडोज 3.1 विंडोज 3 which is launched in the year 90 April 1992. So with this is having a several significant features. So what are significant features having? So it is having some true front, true type front technology. That means technology are improved as per the market requirement. That it is having the feature of multimedia. Now you can play the multimedia videos and audios. Okay, multimedia files can be played or can be accessed. Then object link and embed OLE. Okay, now in the module 3, you are having this one. What do you mean by object linking embedded? Okay, what do you mean by object linking embedded? The object link embedment, now object can be embedded into the windows. We can directly embed the object or link the object to the windows. This is the main advantage of Windows 3.1, which is launched in 1992. So, so in the previous version, maybe they are providing the technology, and whereas they are having some features, some limited feature to accessing the video file. But what is the main benefit of Windows 3? So it is providing object linking and embedding, which is called OLE. Okay, OLE. For time being, remember this is nothing but now objects can be linked. Now directly we see in terms of objects. Things can be realized in terms of objects here. And along with that, some standard common dialog boxes. Now your designing of Windows is more uh, giving more features or more options to the. If somebody mics is on, Anis, just mute yourself, Anis. Okay, now some standard common dialog boxes. That means the whatever the Windows applications we are creating for the desktop, there your options are increased or more. They are coming with the more options are available. Okay, next important thing, run only in protected mode. Okay, now what is important protected mode? Now everyone is cannot be accessible. Okay, you cannot access to everyone. The administrator or only the authorized person can access this one. Now it requires something 286 or 386 processor with at least 1 MB of memory. Now what is the hardware required for this type of Windows application? What is the hardware requirement? Hardware requirement are very limited. That is, it's required somewhere about 286 or 383 386 processor with at least 1 MB memory. Now you can see the memory is very limited here. That means the computational that you are performing, that also will be very limited. Okay, so this is important about Windows 3 point. Windows 3, why it is very popular? Because it helps the OLE feature. Okay, that the reason it is very popular. क्योंकि यहाँ पर आपका ऑब्जेक्ट लिंकिंग एंड एम्बेडिंग फीचर जो है ये सूटेबल होने लगा आपका विंडोज 3 में. ठीक है, इसलिए ये विंडोज 3 से हम लोग स्टार्टिंग स्लाइड देखेंगे तो हम लोग विंडोज 3 से स्टार्ट किए थे, क्योंकि यहाँ पर OLE और यहाँ पर जो फीचर्स है बहुत एडवांस होने लगे और स्टैंड अलोन वर्जन में आने लगे. Okay, next let's move next version, which is your Windows NT. Okay, Windows NT, which is released in your somewhere around July 1993. Okay, July 1993. So this is the interesting thing when so this is the first uh, networking Windows. We can say that it is the first version of Windows that support 32-bit mode of Intel 386, 486, and Pentium processor. Okay, so what is the benefit of that? Now before that before that, I think that there is a no 32-bit Windows application is coming, but the Windows NT is providing the features of Windows 32-bit mode for the processors like Intel 386, 486, and then program that run under Windows NT can access to the 32-bit flat address space. Now, as the registers are 32-bit, now we can directly access a 32-bit flat addressing space and uses 32-bit instruction set. Now, what happened here? Now, your hardware requirement increases here. Now, your register bits are 32-bit. Okay, whatever the register we are internal register we are using. Now 32-bit. Now what happened? So that the instructions now instruction are coming with 32-bit. That means the speed of the processor are increased or speed of the programmings are increased. Okay, why it is increased? Because now the instruction now along at a particular time instant send we can send 32-bit instruction at a time. Now assume if you want to submit send a 8 instruction. Suppose it is my 8-bit instruction. So for sending 32-bit, how many time interval you have to check? To cross for the 4 time interval. लेकिन अगर मेरा जैसे 80 पहले क्या था 8088 एंड 8086 8086 और 8088 हम लोग यूज करते थे विंडोज किसमें विंडोज 1 में है कि नहीं जहां पर आपका रजिस्टर जो था कितना बिट का था आइदर 16 और 8 बिट्स 8 बिट और 16 बिट नाउ इफ यू सपोज देयर इज इंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ 64 बिट अब एक इंस्ट्रक्शन आपका 64 बिट का इंस्ट्रक्शन है now to send this instruction how many time sequence is required it will require somewhere around 4 time sequence okay but if you are using 32 bit now it will be but easier only 2 time sequence are required so main thing is as you increase the size of the instruction set, now it will take less amount of time. Now it is only possible if your registers at the space are compatible. Okay. Nowadays, basically, if you see nowadays for Windows 10 and Windows 13, how many bit is supporting? It is supporting up to 64 bit. Okay. Now supporting up to 64 bit, and somehow we are trying to design the processor that may be supported up to 128 बिट ठीक है हम लोग अभी काम कर रहे हैं प्रोसेसर में जो आपको 128 बिट तक भी सपोर्ट कर सकता है clear is it clear now one again the very important thing of Windows NT is it is run on this architecture what is this architecture what do you mean by this is reduce instruction set compute reduce instruction set computer architecture okay so so there is basically two types of architecture we are using here one is called RISC architecture second one is called sys architecture so now this is again an important question they are asked one or two times in your exam okay exam point of view this is an important question क्या पूछते हो क्या पूछे कई बार difference between RISC and sys कंप्यूटर आर्किटेक्चर और इंस्ट्रक्शन सेट बोल सकते हैं आप ठीक है सो लेट अस so let us discuss the difference between RISC and sys so RISC stand for reduced instruction set computer whereas sys stand for complex instruction set computer okay now all in simple way here the instruction are very complicated where there the instruction are reduced. Okay, that is the reason Windows NT is very famous on that time, because it is first time it is made on this architecture. And this has a simple decoding of instruction. Now decoding process is very simple here. Now whereas in sys, the decoding process is slightly complex. So whenever the instruction, now if you remember the architect computer organization part, there is a four phases. Now first you have to uh, upload the instruction, then you have to fetch the instruction, then you have to decode again. Once you decode, you have to execute, then again you have to send back. There's a four cycle, complete cycles are there. Now there is a cycle for decoding. Once you fetch the instruction, okay, like for example, suppose I get an instruction like move, move A, comma B. Now this is instruction which is saying move the value B to the accumulator. Now, once you face this instruction, now you have to decode it. Okay, because the computer only understands 0 and 1 binary language. Okay, I have to decode it. Now, decoding is very simple in case of RISC architecture or reduced instruction set architecture may both be easy there. But in case of sys architecture, the decoding is very complicated. Now, complex. It is very much somehow difficult compared to the this architecture, right? The third difference is it is a hardware unit of programming in the RISC processor. How it is made? It is a hardware unit. If you see the RISC instruction set, it is made of a hardware unit of programming in a RISC processor, whereas it is a microprogramming unit for sys processor. The next uh, next difference is software to optimize. It uses software to optimize the instruction set, whereas it uses hardware to optimize the instruction set. Now, how the instruction set is optimized? It is optimized with the help of a software here. But in case of sys architecture, how it is how it is optimized? It is basically optimized with the help of hardware. Now, this uses the pipeline. This uses of pipeline are very simple, whereas the pipeline structure use are very difficult here. Okay, again the pipeline concept are basically used. Why it is used? What is the need of pipeline concept? Why we are using the pipeline concept? Yes, yes. What is the need of pipeline concept, or where the pipelining concept are used? Where the pipeline concept is used? So pipelining concepts are basically used, okay, as I say, while from instruction phase to instruction decode to instruction execute. Okay, if we use pipelining concept at the same instant of time, multiple instruction can perform different operations. That means if one instruction is performing fetching, okay, same time or same sequence of time, other instruction can perform decoding, because both the things are independent. Like fetching of instruction is independent of decoding. So what happens if one instruction performing this block of job, now next instruction can perform this, so that we can reduce the time taken to basic objective क्या है? We have to reduce the amount of time that the instruction are going to take. Right? So that is the reason we use the pipelining concept. Okay. Now, use of pipelining concept in RISC is very simple. Now, you can implement the concept of pipelining in this architecture, this is very much easier. But implementing the concept of pipelining are very difficult in sys architecture. Right? Now next difference is it uses a limited number of instructions that require less time to execute the instruction. So that is the reason it is called reduced instruction set. Why? Because it uses a limited number of instructions that is that require less time to execute the instruction. Right? Whereas in case of sys, a large number of instructions that require more time to execute the instruction. Okay, that is it is called complex instruction set because it is using large number of instruction set, a large number of instruction. Whereas in case of this, there is a limited number of instruction, so it will take less amount of time to execute the instruction. Next difference is this has more transition on memory register. Number of transitions that present in memory register are much larger compared to the sys architecture. So the sys has the but sys transistor to store the complex instruction. So or we can say there are less number of transistors in sys architecture. So now last difference is the execution time of sys is very short, whereas the execution time of this is the execution time of this is very short, and the execution time of sys is much longer. So these are some differences between this and sys architecture, this architecture or computers. Okay, so this is important question relevant to your exam, right? So this question is asked in your previous university exam. That is the reason I discussed here. Uh, you may already studied this concept in computer organization and architecture. Okay, just remember the differences. The main differences are uh, it uses the less number of instruction and time taking to execute is very less, and pipelining can be easily performed. Okay, and decoding the instruction is very simple here, whereas here decoding the instruction is very complicated. Again, pipeline is very difficult and it is using large number of instruction sets, so it is taking much amount of time or longer amount of time. Fine. So Windows 98 or Windows NT, sorry, Windows NT cannot move to 98. Right? So Windows NT are basically designed on this architecture or we can say this processor. So what is the benefit of that? So using of this architecture, so time taking to executing the instruction there is much easier. Okay, so let's move to complete this one, the instruction part, so that in the next class we can discuss the programming part, how can we design the Windows program. Okay. So next version is Windows 98, 95. So it is the name given because it is designed in the year August 1995. That is the reason it is given Windows 95. So what are the features? Now it is supported 32-bit programming code for the Intel 836 and later microprocessors. Then second, requiring fewer hardware resources. Now it is requiring what the requirement of this Windows are. The hardware features are very limited here, or it does not require huge amount of hardware. So what are the disadvantages of this Windows 95? So the lack of some features of Windows NT such as high security and portability of this machine. So what are the drawbacks of this one? So even though it is using less hardware resources, even though it is using less hardware resources, it's having some of the drawbacks or disadvantages. Disadvantages over Windows NT. What is the disadvantage there? Security is uh, security is very less because we are in Windows networking, Windows 90, we are at high security, and it is compatible to this architecture where it is not Windows 95 is not designed for the this not for profitable to this architecture. Okay, next Windows 98, Windows 98, the number of enhancement of performance. So what are the advantages? Now some of the advantages are there, like performance are improved, better hardware support, a close integration with the internet. Now what happened actually now in 1995 here we have uh, now computers are started communicating with each other with the help of internet. So we have in 1995 the World Wide Web are designed. Now we require the Windows that support the World Wide Web or access of internet. Now Windows 95 is the first window that is performing which is supporting the feature of worldwide so that systems can communicate with each other with the help of web browser which is called World Wide Web. Fine. So these are some advantages of Windows 95. Okay, Windows 95, which is which is upgraded in 1998, which is upgraded in June 1998. Okay, so some of the features will improve the performance, better hardware support, and main advantages is it supported the network communication, okay, or internet facilities. Okay, let's move. Yeah. So after that, after Windows 95, or as we are already now Windows 2001, Windows 98 is launched. Then Windows Vista, Windows 98, then Windows 2001, then Windows Vista is 2005, then Windows 7 in the year 2007, then Windows 8, Windows 10. Now currently